Never before has a single player sparked such a combination of admiration and debate among the sport's greatest figures. From breaking records to altering the way the game is played, Caitlin Clark is inspiring an entire new generation of athletes. And when you consider that aside from Kevin Durant aging superstar LeBron James, her thrilling performances and fearless approach to competition have not only captivated fans and analysts but also drawn the attention of NBA icons who typically remain silent on the WNBA. There is no NBA player more well-known today than Caitlin Clark, who is 40 years old, and Steph Curry. However, her path has not been without challenges. Critics have questioned her skills and attempted to minimize her achievements. Nevertheless, two of the greatest names in basketball history, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, have taken the stage to offer their opinions on Clark, which could permanently alter how people perceive her. Amidst all the discussions surrounding Caitlin Clark, none other than Michael Jordan himself has taken the stage to offer his thoughts and what he had to say. When the best basketball player of all time speaks, people pay attention. Jordan's remarks confirm that Caitlin isn't just another player, rather, she is a true game changer whose influence on the game has changed everything. The WNBA owes Caitlin a great deal for what she has done for the game. Jordan said his words weren't just praise, they were a wake-up call. Jordan didn't stop at acknowledging her impact. He also pointed out that the referees in the league have been blatantly unfair to Clark. Sport demands respect and recognition. Next up is none other than Steph Curry, a four-time NBA champion, two-time league MVP, and the best shooter basketball has ever seen. Curry has always praised Caitlin Clark's skill set even when she was dominating college defenses. She knows that other teams will try to take away her range, her three-point shooting, and her flair for testing it every night. She is fearless, and when you can shoot it as well as she can, she simply adds another element of Kai's admiration for Clark is even more significant because he and Clark share a rare ability, an almost supernatural shooting range, that makes defenders respect them the moment they cross half-court. However, this is where it gets truly mind-blowing. Clark's average three-point attempt comes from an astounding 28 feet 1, which is so kind of just unseen coming from a player who revolutionized the game with his shooting. 1 inch is greater than Trey's maximum shooting range. It's no wonder that people make jokes about you needing to start guarding Caitlin Clark the moment she enters the gym. I saw someone break down the release time, which is pretty much the same as mine, and then her confidence just makes you want to watch her play. Two-time NBA champion and 2014 NBA MVP Kevin Durant has been one of Caitlin Clark's biggest fans. He's watched her game with great attention and can't stop talking about how she's such a unique talent. Durant has explained why Clark is among the most dangerous offensive players he has ever seen, from her limitless shooting range to her elite playmaking ability. He sees the makings of a generational superstar, but what stands out most to Durant is her unwavering work ethic. He knows firsthand that greatness isn't just about talent, it's about the hours put in behind the scenes, and in Caitlin Clark, he sees a player who's not only rewriting the record. Allen Iverson, a player who made a lasting impression on the NBA, sees a lot of himself in Caitlin Clark. Just as Iverson redefined the game with his flashy handles and fearless scoring, Clark is doing the same in the WNBA, captivating fans and setting new standards. She is an advanced man who could do a lot out there. She is making the right plays, drawing a lot of attention, and she is just baiting the defense in. I still make a cross-court pass, just like that's just muscle memory. I work on this every day. Iverson recently expressed his admiration for Clark, breaking down why she's such a rare talent. He highlighted her ability to take over games with her scoring, a quality he himself was famous for, but beyond the points, Iverson recognizes something even more important: Clark's ability to improve her teammates. Both players carried a great deal of pressure from their college days into the professional ranks, with critics doubting whether they could maintain their dominance at the next level. That being a superstar isn't just about scoring points. It's also about inspiring others around you. Clark, despite being one of the WNBA's youngest players, already possesses that unique talent of shooting the blood out of the ball. I've never seen anything like that, as well as how aggressive she is and how she not only excels at basketball but also gets her teammates involved. I think she's fantastic for the game, and I think she will only get better in the future. Iverson carried the Philadelphia. Iverson believes Clark's best days are ahead of her, and that as she grows, she'll only get better at leading her team and adjusting to the challenges thrown her way. He's confident that just like he did, Clark will learn how to take her team to new heights. Although the 76ers didn't have a star-studded supporting cast, he sees Clark as someone with the same drive who can will her team to success no matter what. However, he also understands that the Indiana Fever must assemble the right team around her if she is to truly thrive. Caitlin Clark, one of the NBA's brightest young stars and a perennial MVP candidate, has been dubbed the women's Steph Curry. If that wasn't impressive enough, he even acknowledged that she might be a better shooter than he is. Coming from a player who is praised for his own shooting brilliance, that's about as high a compliment as it gets. It's a woman Steph Curry, thank you, should have better than me. Indiana Pacers star Tyrese Haliburton wasted no time in embracing Caitlin Clark as soon as she arrived in Indiana. He was all praise for her game from the moment she was drafted, recognizing her as a transformative talent who could elevate the Fever and women's basketball as a whole. I'm excited for her to be here because I think it will bring a lot of excitement to the city, which already has a lot of young talent. She is one of the faces of women's basketball, so having her here and under one roof is really exciting for me, and I think a lot of people in our organization, Haliburton support, don't just talk. He frequently attends Fever games, seen sitting courtside completely engrossed in the action. His reactions, which range from applauding big plays to shaking his head in shock at Clark's long three-pointers, demonstrate how much he respects her skill. His enthusiasm extends beyond basketball to include what Clark represents for the city of Indianapolis and its fervent sports culture. I enjoy watching all of the girls play. You know they're getting better as the seasons progress. I had a great game the day I left. Kel's been great, but I love being able to go to Fever games because the excitement in the city is amazing, and it's cool when I bring people who haven't been to a WNBA game before. Some of my friends say, bro, it's in a third level, and I respond, yeah, that's what the Fever games are like now. You know, so it's really cool to see the excitement around the team. Clark's arrival has brought new energy to Indiana, and Haliburton has been one of her biggest champions. Haliburton has made it clear that he believes in Clark and is excited to share the stage with another superstar who is taking Indiana basketball to new heights. He recognizes the importance of having a generational talent in the city and is fully on board with the Fever's rise, whether through social media shootouts or in-person support. Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most dominant forces in basketball history, was initially among Caitlin Clark's skeptics. His devotion to LSU and his close relationship with Angel Reese influenced his early thoughts on Clark's performance during the 2023 national championship. When LSU defeated Iowa, Shaq was outspoken about his doubts about Clark's ability to perform at the highest level. People adore Caitlin Clark, best size, her skills, and her ability to shoot threes from logo. That's what I mean when I say that I adore Steph Curry, because I've never seen that before. However, as Clark continued her incredible journey, game after game, O'Neal found himself reconsidering everything he had said. The deep threes, the elite playmaking, and the ability to lead a team night in and night out made it impossible to ignore, and eventually the Hall of Famer had to, in a refreshingly honest moment on Angel Reese's podcast. Shaq didn't hide his change of heart and openly acknowledged how Clark had proven him wrong. He said, "She's doing things we've never seen before. Nobody's doing that on a consistent basis. There's a lot of girls in D have done it in spurts, but you know that game I'm watching why the final form like damn like, and I was a hater because you know I'm down with her. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot, and then damn, she's not going to hit that shot, man." Charles Barkley, who never sugarcoats his thoughts, has been following Caitlin Clark's ascent with keen interest. He has always been impressed by her shooting range and playmaking ability, but what really stands out to him isn't just the numbers but her mindset. Barkley has seen many talented players come and go, but few have handled the pressure. The shot that means you're the truth. That level of recognition from one of the greatest to ever play the sport is no small thing. Shaw's transition from skepticism to admiration speaks volumes about Clark's impact. Barkley has been one of the most vocal critics of the unfair treatment Clark has received on the court. He has witnessed the needless physicality, the cheap shots, and the way referees have let things slide, and he is not happy about it. In a recent interview, Barkley praised Clark's poise, saying, "I mean what she's done for the game the last couple years, you know the D. Then the thing I like about her, man, she doesn't say a word. Yeah, she's never said a word about anybody. He just shows up and does her job." Barkley also added that rookies must earn respect, but what they're doing to Caitlin isn't basketball related. It's petty nonsense, and it needs to stop. However, I didn't think she would have to deal with all of this, and as a WNBA fan, I can't imagine that they could make this Caitlin Clark situation worse. Coming from a man who took pride in being a tough, physical competitor, if even Barkley feels that Clark is being unfairly singled out, you know something is wrong. Kevin Garnett, the fiery Hall of Famer known as the Big Ticket, doesn't give out compliments lightly, but when it comes to Caitlin Clark, he's making a comparison that has the basketball world buzzing, that puts her in the same category as Steph Curry. That's right, according to Garnett, Clark isn't just proving she belongs in the WNBA. She's forcing people at all levels of the sport to rethink how they view and treat the game's biggest stars. Fantastic shooter who is a generational talent that is revolutionizing the game. What exactly is it about Clark that has Garnett making this bold statement? It's straightforward. Like Curry, she creates her own shot opportunities the moment she crosses half court. Defenders must remain locked in because she will pull up from anywhere. It's the kind of offensive firepower that completely changes defensive strategies if you're not in a Steph Curry shape. But Garnett didn't just praise her. In addition to discussing Clark's game, he also addressed one of the year's biggest controversies, her Olympic snub. Garnett called it out, saying that Clark should have been on Team USA, but he also showed her a great deal of respect for the way she handled the situation. Instead of snapping, Clark took it in stride and continued to focus on the WNBA. Garnett described her as a true game changer for the future of women's basketball, saying that the USA made a mistake. Paul Pierce, another Celtics legend, couldn't contain his admiration either after witnessing Clark's unforgettable 41-point performance against LSU in the NCAA tournament. Pierce wasn't just impressed. He called it the best performance he's ever seen in the college tournament. This is just my opinion, bro. They've established something and they built something right. It's a new wave that is here and it has a major blockage on it. Listen to everyone out there, bro. We're not fighting over the pie that's being established, or female that's coming from a man who has seen decades of March Madness history. Pierce didn't stop there, though, as he also joined the Olympic snub debate, supporting Garnett's argument that Team USA erred by leaving Clark off the roster. In his opinion, Clark isn't just a rising star, she's a player who elevates the entire game, attracting new fans and redefining what's possible in the WNBA. You say you want the women's game to grow, but you keep the most popular girl in women's basketball off the team. How do you grow internationally? And when Hall of Famers like Garnett and Pierce publicly support you, it's obvious that you're doing something special. Clark isn't just getting respect from her peers, she's getting admiration from some of the greatest players to ever play the game, and with the way she's performing, this is just the beginning. However, this is where things take an interesting turn, as not everyone is on the same page as Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce enter Indiana Pacers legend on a national level.